Hey, what's up guys? I'm Adrian Ramirez. Hope you guys are having a great day. Before I start, help me out by smashing the like button and subscribe. Today I'm going to be talking about how Uber lost $5.2 billion in the second quarter of 2019. $5.2 billion. Can you guys believe that?
I'm out.
Before we move forward from this, I just want to state that Uber raised $8.1 billion during its initial public offering and burned through more than half of it in 3 freaking months. I'm not saying the CEO should be fired for this, but he should be fired for this. Burning through $5.2 billion in 3 months must be some sort of record. If you're holding the stock, just know that Uber is going to lose at least $1 billion in the next quarter as well. So expect another major dip in the share price. Uber right now, as of filming this video, is worth $60 billion, but at some point in the past, it almost reached a valuation of $100 billion. It's crazy how a company valued at $60 billion has never actually turned a profit. And it's actually losing billions every year. The company posted its biggest ever quarterly loss of $5.24 billion in the 3 months ending in June. The company reported a per share loss of $4.72 on revenue of $3.17 billion, both of which missed analyst estimates. The news, coupled with the company's lowest ever revenue growth in the same quarter, caused its shares to dip 10%. Warning, viewer discretion is advised.
Fatality.
Moment of silence for anyone holding Uber stock right now. So what happened? How did Uber lose more than $5 billion in such a short amount of time? Everywhere around the world, Uber is facing massive competition from a saturated market in both its ride-sharing and food delivery services. It is this fierce competition that has now started to affect Uber. The ride-sharing companies that are competing with Uber are Lyft in the US, Bolt in the UK, Ola Cabs in India, and Yandex Taxi in Russia. The food delivery companies competing with Uber are Deliveroo and Just Eat in the UK and Grubhub, Postmates, and DoorDash in the US. Uber is literally fighting an all-out war in all fronts. The crazy thing is that all of Uber's competitors are willing to keep earning cash, just as Uber is to keep gaining any market share they can.
Stop! What do you command?
It's just
Good business. Abandon ship!
The competition is clearly insane. In addition to the wild competition Uber has, the $5.2 billion loss in its latest quarterly result was driven primarily by stock-based compensation costs. While stock-related compensation costs are common among Silicon Valley companies, Uber losses were bigger than all but 3 S&P 500 companies in 2018. General Electric, Kraft Heinz, and Newell Brands are the only companies in the S&P 500 that lost more money last year than Uber's $5.2 billion loss. High stock-related compensation costs are normal for Silicon Valley companies. Equity packages are the price of luring talented engineers who could otherwise command bigger salaries at more established companies. In an interview with CNBC on Friday, August 9, CEO Dara characterized the losses as a once-in-a-lifetime hit as he tries to steer the company toward profitability. Investors continue to remain very skeptical about whether or not Uber can achieve profitability in the future. Those concerns have put Uber and Lyft shares under immense pressure in the months since their respective IPOs. In the interview with CNBC's David Faber and Jim Cramer, CEO Dara shared some insight on the company's second quarter earnings report, in which Uber fell short of analyst expectations for both the top and the bottom lines. Dara said that he's targeting 30% revenue growth in the back half of the year, compared with net revenue growth of 26% in the second quarter. He added that spending will increase, but it will decline as a percentage of revenue. He said the following.
I think that our spending declines as a percentage of revenue. So when you're growing trips 35% year on year, your spending is going to increase, but we're going to get leverage, we believe, on the marketing line, and we're definitely going to get fixed cost leverage going forward. And I think that this quarter proved that out. And I think we have to keep hitting our marks in the next couple of quarters. It's a super competitive marketplace, but we're confident, and we like what we saw operationally in this quarter.
Dara disagreed about Uber losing its founder mentality after Travis Kalanick, known for his growth at all cost approach, resigned as CEO of the company in 2017. He said the following.
I think we absolutely have that fire inside the company. We just 2 days ago we had kind of a day where we sit down and go through all of everything that we're doing technically. Meeting started at 8:30. It didn't end until after 9 p.m. at night. We got in that room and we resolved every single situation. So listen, the founder mentality, that edge, the fire, is absolutely something that we want to keep going at the company. It was a big part of what made the company successful, and I absolutely believe it'll be a big part of what will make Uber successful going forward.
Dara continues to face increasing pressure from investors to get Uber on track to profitability. That's likely to be a very hard thing to do since Uber continues to subsidize its rides. On the interview, Dara addresses the stock's weak performance since Uber's IPO. He said the following.
I think we've got to do a better job in terms of telling our story to the markets. I think that the company is executing very, very well. Somehow it's not getting through the noise. And, I think that at some point you just put your head down and you execute, and the market short term, while you can't control the short term, long term the market will take care of itself. And I think that's what we're focused on right now.
Right, but you've got to get people to believe in that ultimate goal that you can be a cash flow machine at maturity. And for now, even on EBITDA loss of $656 million, I would think that's an uphill battle in some ways.
Further on, Dara said the company was recently forced to increase prices in New York City due to stricter regulations from the city's taxi and limousine commission. As a result, Uber has had to restrict the number of drivers who can enter the marketplace. He said the following.
Because of the new TLC rules, we've had to restrict the number of drivers that come into the marketplace. We've had to increase prices, and there are many, many New Yorkers who can afford it, and our business in New York is doing just fine. But our business in neighborhoods that need transportation the most, often mass transit, doesn't go into those neighborhoods. Our business is suffering there, and that's just not fair. Really what's happening in New York is there's a secondary medallion system being kind of created with this limit on the number of drivers and the number of cars. And we know that the first medallion system ended in tears, and now we're doing it again, and we think it's a tragedy. We're doing everything that we can to get our message out in New York City, and eventually we think that good logic will win, but right now we're in a pretty tough spot.
In a different interview with CNBC on Thursday, August 8, Dara said 2019 will be the company's peak investment year and that losses should come down in 2020 and 2021. He added that he's certain the business will eventually be a break-even and profitable business.
Also, regarding profitability, and this is essential, key for markets, why you're seeing the stock get hit right now. Here's what he told us. He said, I'm going to quote him here. He said, we think that 2019 will be our peak investment year, and we think that 2020, 2021, you'll see losses come down. I think our break-even is something that we can push the company to break even if we really wanted to, frankly. He also said, no doubt in my mind that the business will eventually be a break-even and profitable business. So eventual profitability, guys, that's what he's saying, but certainly not as clear or as certain as what we heard from Lyft's executives yesterday, who told investors that last year was peak losses. We'll see if he's a bit more clear on the call, but certainly investors are going to want to hear more.
In the meantime, though, you can expect Uber stock to be extremely volatile. Excluding stock-based compensation, Uber's losses were approximately $1.3 billion, or about 30% worse than the prior quarter, which is horrible. The amount of money Uber is losing every quarter is just insane. Anyways, that is the end of the video. Now you know why Uber stock crashed so much and why it lost $5.2 billion during its second quarter of 2019. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe. Let me know what you think about Uber in the comments. I want to disclose that I don't own any shares of Uber right now and probably never will.
What are you doing, Mark? I'm out. Wow.
Also remember, this channel is for information and entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial advisor and all investments involve some degree of risk. Please invest responsibly and do your own due diligence. See you guys. Bye.